It's a fish. So it's
Not a fish. He's,
it
he's got
is
he's got arms. He's wrapped in
a fish with arms who's got chains around him
a fish with arms.
and a nice
Fish with
cloak.
arms would be pretty scary.
Welcome back to Joel is bashing my clicker again. It starts to hurt once you get past the fungus. That's an infected penis-based Last of Us joke.
Are they all going to be sort of geared towards penises from now on? Or
I don't know. Probably.
so now we've got clanking and bashing your clicker. Every week, are we going to get a new innuendo, a gaming innuendo to do with sex?
It's not as easy as it sounds to come up with these every single week, I might add.
You're seeing that like the phrase "I've clanked" should be put into the Urban Dictionary.
The
Can
merch is on the way.
the the Urban Dictionary? Can you just put your own things in? Because you could just you
Hopefully.
could get it in, get it clanking or bashing the clicker. It's better. It's more culturally appropriate than bashing the bishop, I suppose. Than that always used to be the go-to
But
innuendo
I
idiom.
think it's audience specific. So clanking would have to be when a gamer comes his pants.
Okay, okay. So but what I think's good about them, I will give you this. If I said, "Oh, I've clanked," or if I said, "I'm bashing me clicker," I feel like non-gamers would know what I meant, uh,
Yeah,
and that
it gives a vibe, doesn't it?
yeah, it gives a vibe.
It's
No, it's a
universal
good vibe.
language. Anyway, um, we're talking about things that outstay their welcome, kind of like you and me.
Yeah, it's on point.
But to bring it back to what we're supposed to be talking about, boss battles who completely outstay their welcome. Maybe they start off all right, and maybe second form is not so bad, but maybe you're just
Oh,
thinking, why is he still here? Shouldn't this fucker be dead by now?
see, someone mentioned this the other day on a comment on our on our last video, the video before, and said, I feel like Boxy and Retro got two different remits for this. And I think it's when we were talking about NPCs we hate. And it was like
Yeah.
Retro's went down the EI and Boxy's went down the characters that he hates. And I think that adds more because you get two perspectives rather than us just being talking about completely different things. Because when you mentioned there, because by the way, we do prep a little bit, but on our own. So we'll just send a message to each other and say, this is what the show's going to be about. And we can think about it, percolate and stuff like that. But we don't go into much detail, obviously, because when you mentioned there that you were talking about boss battles that overstayed the welcome and went on too long, I just thought bosses in general so stay overstay their welcome in the game.
Oh, so like in terms of story and
Yeah,
stuff.
they just don't. They just keep turning up. They keep going. So we've got two perspectives here. Is what we were
Uh,
always going for. So
the yin to my yang.
yeah, what we meant to say was while Boxy's looked at boss battles that lasted too long, Tom has looked at bosses that stayed in the game too long, and it's all completely meant.
Well, kick us off in the right direction then. What have you got?
Well, to be fair, there was one I took out the list because it was a boss battle, and I thought, oh, it's just the boss battle because they're actually a great boss. A game you'll not played, Final Fantasy VI, which originally came out on the NES, SNES, and you can get it on the PS1 and like the Pixel Master Collection or whatever it's called there now. And Final Fantasy VI is a great, it got a great storyline going through it. When it comes to Final Fantasies, six, some people go, the purists always go, six is much better than seven, and it's not. I will say that it is, as a Final Fantasy fan, it is not. But there is a great boss in it called Kefka, and he is a really, really good boss. At one point, actually, sort of winning, which is especially back when the snares isn't what bad guys did. But the last boss battle on that has many phases, and it keeps going. And I did it for the first time on stream, and you know what happens? Stubborn Tom came out. Someone said you're far too underleveled to be able to beat him at this point. You need to go back grind for a couple of hours. And I went, I'm not grinding. I can do this. I don't need to not be skillful. If you just grind, you're not being skillful. You're just overpowered. And it took like three or four attempts, but I took him down. But I think there's four phases with that
Hmm.
one. So yeah, so I took that one off the list. But I did include a Final Fantasy boss battle and a Final Fantasy boss, not battle, sorry, a Final Fantasy boss that you will know about now, because
Hey,
I included a wee lad from Final Fantasy X called Seymour. Now, I'm not sure because we haven't talked about it, and I don't want to until maybe next week when you're talking about your games. But I don't know exactly where you are, but I know you're quite a way through. Seymour just keeps showing up all the time. And obviously, the main villain is Sin, this big monster in Final Fantasy X. But there is this guy who's like, is he the head of the church or deputy head of the church, like deputy pope? Do you have a deputy pope? I don't
Pope
know.
2.
He's deputy Pope to Electric Boogaloo. He is, and he's supposed to be marrying your main love interest in the game, Yuna. It's like an arranged marriage for stuff, and he's a smarmy prick, and I think that's what makes it. Every time he turns up, you just go, "Oh, Christ's sake!"
He's got wonderful hair, though.
He does. I want to know if there is any ozone layer on Spira because the amount of hairspray he must use to keep his hair, his wonderful blue hair, in that formation
Yeah.
is mind
He
blowing.
looks like someone who plays in The Darkness. Remember that band, The Darkness?
Yes, I
Well,
believe in a thing called love. That one, yeah,
yeah. For your pleasure,
great band.
I have just beaten him for the first time. I know he's going to come back because
Yeah,
he's
next
clearly the
time.
final boss.
I've
But yeah, he it starts off pretty cool, and then he pulls his gigantic halibut out of the ground for the majority of the fight. And then when you get rid of him, you have to take him on again. And he seems like he's dead, but I know he's going to
the
come back.
halibut he's talking about is a summon which you can get called anima,
I
anima,
don't know.
anima.
It's a fish, so
It's not a fish. He's
it
he's got
is
he's got arms. He's wrapped in.
a fish with arms who's got chains around him
A fish with arms.
and a nice
Fish with
cloak.
arms would be pretty scary.
You know who
Imagine a
it look?
fish with arms.
Do you know who it looks like? Do you remember? Is it Clanky Ranky or something in Banjo
Are we
Kazooie?
are we talking about Seymour? Or are we talking about
The
Anima?
halibut. The halibut.
The halibut. Okay.
You know Rusty Clanky in Banjo Kazooie or whatever he was called. It was
Yes,
that submarine that had teeth.
it was like a shark-esque submarine.
Yeah, it's that. It's that. He's morphed into another game. He's quantum leaped to
It
be
just,
Seymour's bitch.
I'm just going to double check because I do know that there is Anima, and I'm sure it's Seymour Summon. I'm sure it is Anima because it doesn't look like a fish.
It
Yeah,
does look like
Anima.
a fish.
It doesn't look like a fish. It's a person. He's in like some sort of. It looks like he's in a big Venus flytrap. He's got chains around him. He's got hands with massive claws. He's got a bandage around his head. He's got teeth.
With a fish costume on.
Have you ever seen go online and look at pictures of fish with teeth like being put on like human teeth? They are
Oh,
the scariest things you will ever see.
yeah, I'm
They're the
not doing that.
scariest things.
Anyway, let's
By
get off this. Let's get off this shit game. No.
Okay, right. Well, give me one of your boss fights that overstayed its welcome then. If you think
Uh,
this boss has overstayed his welcome in this podcast.
hey, it's nice that you're recognizing me as the boss. Um, not an NPC. I love
I
this
I
boss.
know for a fact you forgot all our logins because I was going to send you a message the other day and said I'm a bit tight. Can you knock out a video on our TikTok? And I thought no because I know for a fact he's not know the password. Am I right?
You're right. I've got enough
So
problems
when
in
you
my
say you're the
life right
boss,
now.
I could just say, right, you're off the podcast and you can't remember any passwords to stop me.
I'm sure the password is just like QWERTY or something like that. Or
I've changed it to clanking recently.
there you
Clanking
go.
1, 2, 3.
Clanky and wanky.
Right.
I
What's your boss fight that's
I
overstayed as
love this
welcome?
boss. It is in my top 10 boss fights, but I will admit that they hang around for way too long. It is
Mhm.
Sister Fried in Dark Souls 3. Have you heard
I
of this
knew
boss?
I knew you'd pick a Dark Souls boss because I knew there'd be some long ones.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think if there was any bosses I thought in Elden Ring that had overstayed the welcome, but they don't really.
No.
There's some
So
enemies that overstay the welcome because they just sort of repackage them, but not bosses. I didn't think.
Sister Fried is a great fight, but there's three phases and they
Is she
all
is she a nun?
yes, I think she
Okay,
is.
okay.
Well,
I was
she's
I was trying to
I
work what
mean
the system meant
everyone in Dark Souls is some form of religious nut. So
because that is the scariest thing. Religion is one of the scariest things in the world.
clearly. No, let
Uh,
me set the scene. You go
oh,
into
sorry,
this
sorry, sorry.
you go into this temple and Sister Fried comes alive and she has this like big kind of scythe thing and you have a really good fight and then you kill her, and then her dad comes alive,
Oh,
who is Father Ariandel, who is this huge kind of skeleton who carries a big cauldron of lava with him.
that doesn't
Not,
seem the most effective way to fight, carrying a massive
he
cauldron.
goes full on berserk with it. He
Oh,
smashes the place up. It's quite epic. But she comes back alive, so
oh bloody hell.
you have to fight both of them at the same time. She's really quick and he's really slow. So it's like Ornstein Small kind of design.
It's like mining your brains on this
Yeah, yeah.
podcast. Yeah, yeah.
And when you finally get over that hump and you finish off Father Ariandel, then she absorbs him to become twice as powerful. And the final leg of that fight is so difficult. And because Dark Souls combat and movements are not as, it's a Bloodborne fight, but because
Ooh.
it's Dark Souls, it's not as quick. The movements aren't as quick, so it's a lot harder. I spent days on that fight and I didn't get bored, but I was like, this third phase maybe doesn't need to exist.
And obviously it's Dark Souls, so you go back to phase one every single
Yeah,
time you die, rather
every
than
single
going.
time, every
Yeah.
single time.
And see, this is the whole juxtaposition of bosses in video games, isn't it? That the more you beat them up, the stronger they get. Because
Mm.
obviously, if it was something a bit more realistic, imagine if a game came out and said, "We should be realistic." As you beat them up, they just get so easy to defeat because they're out, they're exhausted and stuff like that. But so she wants a minute. So she dies. You fight her dad. Then she gets reincarnated.
So when her dad comes alive, he brings her back. So you're fighting both of them.
Right. Okay. So you don't beat the dad. Right. Okay. So he comes and brings her back to life,
Yeah,
and then she absorbs her dad.
yeah.
So what were the names? Sister Freed and Father.
Ariandel.
So is it like is he called Sister Ariandale or Father Freed at the end? What we're going for? You can't dead name them. It's not allowed.
I don't know. I've got
Okay.
a
Well.
feeling it's black something, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But she gets insanely quick in that
Yeah.
final phase. First phase isn't too bad. Second phase is more just about managing your space, like getting away at the right time, because
Mm,
there's a
mm.
lot of lumbering going on from the dad, and she's just kind of meandering around. And then the third phase, it's just like you have to be so on point and keeping your wits about you, and you can't. It's like if you fuck up, then you might as well just restart because
Yeah.
you're gonna be killed.
Yeah. For you. For yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
first one. My
Well,
second.
in regards to bosses, when you
Mm,
mentioned there, because obviously I've chose ones that keep turning up in the game rather than the fights being sort of like keep going on. But in that same vein, a fight that I don't think I did as a kid. I don't know if I finished this game as a kid. It was too hard. I have done it recently on stream, but it was in Devil May Cry. Now,
okay.
if you've played the original Devil May Cry, it's obviously an action sort of third person. You got guns, you got swords and stuff like that. But the main enemies, the main bosses, there is probably about 12 or 13 boss fights, but a lot of them are the bosses coming back. It's not a different boss, it's the same boss turns up again. Now, I could have picked Phantom, who is a big lava spider who keeps coming back, but the one that really annoyed me, and this is why I chose him over all of them, because I think all of the bosses come back the same amount of times, most of them, is Nightmare. And let me describe Nightmare. Nightmare is a gelatinous blob of shit. There's no form to him. It's just and there's other enemies, and his blob turns into spikes, so you can't sort of stand on him, but you have to stand on him. And he's got like this like metal head or something in the middle, and a big sphere comes out, and you have to attack it. And it's so hard because if you stand still for too long on this blob, like a Venus flytrap, two mentions for a Venus flytrap on this podcast will be on Gardener's World next. Each Dante, the character, and you go into like a nightmare realm where you
Mm.
have to beat a load of enemies to get back to the boss fight. And I'm
Oh,
sure
that's
when you
annoying.
come, yeah, and it was just like, right, it took us ages to do them, and like finish the boss fight, and then you have to fight them three times, and it's the same boss fight just in different arenas every single time, and it's go
Yeah,
away. He
I
is
played it,
a
and
nightmare.
I've clearly repressed all that, but now you mention it, it does all come flooding back to me.
Mm.
Um, my next one, maybe a bit controversial. Boulder from God of War.
Okay. Um. So, do you only fight him really once? Like he's in the game,
No,
obviously, all the way through. You fight him at the start. You have the little sort, but that's more of a tutorial fight. Are you talking about the last fight?
just the fact that he keeps coming back. And my issue is, I have issues with the game anyway, but that first fight with him is pretty epic, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
good. It's really brutal. It's really dark and full on. And you literally snap his neck and push him off a cliff.
Yeah.
Now, any other God of War game, he would be done for, and you would not see that fucker again. But the
Yeah,
fact that he just keeps coming back, I know it's his curse and everything, and that, that's
it
part of
is
the
Norse
story.
mythology that, by the way, Balder is I was going immortal, apart
Yeah.
from one flaw that will kill him. I'm not saying it in case you. I mean, you should have played God of War 2018 by now if you want not to have spoilers. But there's one thing that can. It's a bit like an Achilles heel type thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah, and
I,
it's a
I get
really
all
shit
that, and
thing that
it's,
kills him. That's the thing.
yeah. But the fact that he just keeps coming back, and it's part of the final, I think it's part of the final fight with him and,
Because he's the main boss in the first one, isn't he? He's the main
yeah,
antagonist through the whole game, and you fight. His mum gets massive, and I don't mean she sort of lets it go. She turns up a Slimming World the next day, and she's like, "I just got I got really stressed and ate 17 boar." I mean, she turns into a giant, doesn't she?
something like
Oh,
that.
she
Yeah.
is a giant, isn't she?
Yeah, well, she's his mum, and then she's helping you in the first game, and then she gets really peed off that you killed her son in the second one, and that's why she's after you in the second one.
Yeah, I'm sure you fight a giant at the end of God of War. Does he become a giant?
Oh, I don't know. It's like
Oh,
it's like a double fight between Boulder and his brother.
no, 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 no. It's Balder, and his mum's trying to stop you killing him.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
that's it.
that's
Yeah.
it. I've got to see who's the giant. God of
It's good this
War.
podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you keep saying that. What's oh, I've just turned me. Oh, I don't know. I can't stop. Anyway,
Anyway, he just keeps coming back like a bad rash, and
oh,
I thought it'd
okay.
be a lot more impactful if he just stayed dead because it's a big
Well,
it's a big moment in the beginning of that game, and it sets the tone for it. And the fact that he just comes back is like, oh, okay, so none of that meant anything then.
yeah, but what I will say about the two main antagonists in the God of War newer games is he is a type of he's an annoying boss. He's a prick. He keeps oh my Christ there, and then they got went completely different with. I love Odin in the second game. I think he's played. I know you're not a big fan of the games compared to the first ones and stuff, and I know especially the second one. You God of War comments still sit with me, but I
God of
do
War, it's definitely God of War 2018. It's not so God of War, God of Ragnarok.
see. I prefer the first one.
Oh no, I preferred
Mm.
Ragnarok.
Anyway, but I think Odin's done really well. Like this, it's like a mob boss, isn't it? It's like a Norse mob
Yeah,
boss. It's all
he's a
played. It's great.
Paul Hall loan shark.
Let's move on because we'll repeat ourselves. As me and Boxy were saying all the time, we've run out of stuff. We keep talking about the same stuff over and over again. My
Yeah,
next one,
let's
I had a
call it a
choice.
day.
I had a choice of two people, and this isn't a boss that keeps coming back in a game. It's a big boss that keeps coming back in a series. Now, there is a choice of two. I went with one of them because the other character I think I do like more, and it's cool that he comes back. He actually comes back more, but it is the Metal Gear Solid series, and it
Okay.
is Revolver Ocelot is in like every game, and whose side is he on, and Shasha Shalaka or whatever his name is, and he's bad guys, but he's double crossing them, and he's always been a double agent, or he hasn't been a double agent, or I don't know what's going on. Hideo Kojima's brain is like a loft full of all the old crap from your life, and you can sort of you recognize it and you know where it's from, but you don't know what it's doing there. But it wasn't him. I chose Liquid Snake because I think Liquid is a little bit less endearing. And obviously, we've got the first game because he works on two levels. The first game, you have you fight him in a Hind D,
Hmm.
a fighter jet, and the fighter jet goes down, and explodes. He doesn't die. You fight him in a Metal Gear. He doesn't die. You fight him mano a mano, shirts off, full 80s. And can I just say, if they want to be real men, Liquid Snake and Solid Snake, completely clean shaven chests. They might have a better six pack than me, but I'm more of a real man with my hairy chest, like built like a beaver. And you have a fist fight, and he falls off the top of this massive Metal Gear. Ah, oh, that's it done. Oh no, we've got to escape the facility. So let's get in a car and escape the facility. And you escape the facility. Oh, who's that chasing us? It's Liquid Snake. He's still alive. Oh, great. We get to the end of the tunnel that we're coming out of to escape this Alaskan island. Boof, cars go everywhere. He's still alive, and you have to like take him out in a cutscene or something. Oh, and for some reason, he's also pretentious because he's got a British accent and he's not British. And then you think, right, 17 fights, he's done. he's completely dead. And then it's actually, you could join it. Revolver Ocelot turns up in this Metal Gear Solid 2. And guess what? You cut his arm off in the first one, but he's got an arm. What's that about? Oh, it's Liquid Snake's arm. But for some reason, Liquid Snake's brain was in the arm. I don't think Hideo Kojima took anatomy. Actually, sorry, it's Metal Gear, so we just explain it all by saying um, nano machines. There we go, sorted. And he possesses Revolver in the second uh, and the fourth, because he's not in the third, because obviously it's a flashback.
The fourth one, yeah, because they
Um,
have a big
but
fight on
but
the
then
roof.
doesn't it work out like hasn't Revolver also just been pretending or something?
I don't
I
know. I mean,
don't know.
good old Hideo
Go
Kojima
away.
logic.
Oh, just go away, Liquid.
No, I agree. I do agree with that one. Um,
Yeah.
I thought about saying the Nemesis, but that's just the whole design of the game. So
Mm.
my last
But
one and very quick one because I know we've got to wrap up is Mr. Sinister from the Deadpool game. You played that?
I've recently got the Deadpool game. I got the PS4 version of it
Mm.
from a friend. Thank you, Gary. And I've not played it yet. I've heard it's a good game.
It's all right, yeah. But
Yeah.
the last third of it, you're literally fighting the bad guy just over and over and over again. And there's like multiple copies of him, and it doesn't
Mhm.
kind of change up at all. You just
Is that
literally button mashing.
is that Mr. Sinister's power? Like he can make copies of himself. I've not really,
Something something like that, yeah.
yeah, I've
But
not really sort of seen him much in like
but because the
media.
game is like funny and it's quite fourth wall breaking, tongue in cheek, it's not even like making reference to how dull this design is. So it just comes across as really lazy.
As
But
in, it's sort of we're taking the mickey out of ourselves, but this is actually not very good, so we're not going to take the mickey out of this.
yeah, but it's a
Yeah,
pretty fun game all the same.
yeah.
That was jolly good.
I've got one more. I've got
Oh
one
right, yeah,
more
yeah,
because
yeah.
this is just an honourable mention of someone who I think is a very good villain and should be a great one. But it's in the Arkham series. It is the fact that Joker, even when he is dead, is the main bad guy in all three games. When Batman has such a sort of a rogues gallery of enemies that they could have chose some new. I mean, obviously you've got the Arkham Knight in the last one, but obviously Joker's in his head, and that's a big battle. I just think, especially when they did like the Mister Freeze fight so well, and they
Mm.
did, and obviously the Scarecrow part in the first one were really good, and they didn't sort of, they were like, we're just going to stick with Joker. I thought they could have, so that's not that, that's more of a want of what could have been. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about it because I think they did the transition really well. I think Arkham Knight's a really good game with a really good story, and it does work because of the whole he's haunted by and he's worried that it forms part of his persona, and so I didn't think it was as lazy as like some people have said just to bring
But
him back.
but I did like, yeah, yeah, I understand that, but I do obviously if you include Origins, where he's the main bad
Yeah.
guy as well. There's four games where Batman's got that many amazing A grade enemies you could have, and it's Joker every single time as the main protagonist, which
It's
is
a good thing he's such a good character though.
what would have been good is if he sort of died in the first one because he had the worst boss fight that ruined the whole game, so he deserved to die. You had two other games where he wasn't sort of mentioned, and then he came back in that Arkham Knight, and it was that sort of rehaunting, like it goes on about being injected with the Joker's blood or something, doesn't it? I
Mm.
think that would have been cool, and that would have made it like sort of maybe people were tired of Joker by then a little bit. So at the time, people were like, "Oh, it's not as good." But if you go back and you haven't been saturated with maniacal clowns, it might be all right.
He's so good though. Well, that was jolly good, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
was
lovely.
Joel is bashing my clicker again. The fungus has grown, and now I've got a bloater. See you next time.
Hi.